Hey, good morning. It's early morning. I'm going to put my Maseto Silvertip brush, which is the Memphis handle, 24 millimeter. Put that in my little cup to soak for a few minutes. Today's soap is Picture Day from Summer Break. I tried to memorize the scent notes for you. Top notes, lavender and bergamot. The middle notes are rosemary and black pepper. The base notes are oak moss, patchouli, and I'm missing one more. Sorry, can't really remember what it is. So you can tell it's his first base because you've got the little schoolhouse logo. He moved away from that because a lot of people were saying it looked like a church, and he's about the school theme. I think it does look like a little schoolhouse myself, but I understand what he was talking about. And he's a small maker of soaps, and but I like a lot of his scents. Unfortunately, a lot of them are also a little bit too mildly scented for me. So this is his attempt at a barbershop. I'm going to go ahead and scoop it because then if this one's too mild for me as well, then I'll be able to sell it, and the new guy who gets it will be appreciative sometimes that nobody put a brush to it. But it smells pretty good from the pug, and it smells true to the barbershop theme. And I've started to like those a lot. It's very soft, almost like a cream. And I've used his first base before, and it performs really well. I think his second one's even better, but this is a good one. Just spreading it around in the bowl, and we're good. Okay, barbershop. That's a genre that I started to like. You can see how early morning it is. Look at my hair. That's crazy. I'm going to fix that and then splash my face with some water as a prep. So today's shave features what I used yesterday. My Wolfman WR2, and it's the 95 gap. And it's a titanium handle. Let's go ahead and get this Bolzano blade ready to put on it. Hasn't had too many uses, and some of the razors I've put it in, it has not been very enjoyable. But the Bolzano blade has been one that a couple of guys have taken to 100 uses, that kind of thing. And so I'm wondering if it's going to smooth out over time. Unscrew the handle. Keeping my hand flat helps me not to get cut. Ready to go. Hard water as usual here, and tepid cool. We're in middle September now, so that tap water, another couple of months, is going to start getting cooler. That is such a nice blend. Some of the things you can't pull out because they're just blended so well. I get the patchouli, a little bit of lavender. Bergamot is a citrus. Not very much citrus is jumping out at me right now. Syringe. I need to start adding water. I've mixed it around for a little bit, and my technique that I use to show on video often is to add a teaspoon of water first, and then start adding it by half teaspoons later, unless I know ahead of time what the soap usually takes. This was more than a quarter teaspoon of soap. Now I've got 2.5 in there. And this was a gift. This soap I won it in a contest, one of those, we call them PIFs, pay it forward, where somebody online, on usually a Reddit or a forum, will say, hey, everybody, all you members, pick a number between 1 and 1,000, and then whoever gets the closest wins the soap. Or they might do something else, but then they'll give it away and mail it to you. I usually don't win because statistically there's a lot of people playing, sometimes 100 people, sometimes more maybe, but this time I did. Unfortunately, I don't remember the giver. It might have been CosmoBarber on the Reddit forum. I know it was the Reddit forum. It might be somebody else though. I'll try to look it up. It was maybe the beginning of August or something like that. So right now I have a nice, it's got some nice thickness to it. Looks like a really good lather. Plenty of it. Still kind of rigid. Since I did get more than a quarter teaspoon, I'm not going to be surprised if I end up with a lot of lather. I didn't mean to get quite that much. See how it feels. Oh yeah, I got some cushion to it. Nice slickness on the fingers. Kind of a watery slickness, not really a buttery or a fatty slickness, but it is staying on my fingers. Let's add just maybe a little bit more water. So that's 4 teaspoons. I think I smell a little bit of the rosemary, but I'm really glad it's muted. It's been blended nicely. It's not too strong. It's a contributing player and not a domineering master. This could be too thick, but let's just go ahead and use it. Good, some nice stretch there before a drop. Good sign. Water. Nice soft feel from these tips. I like this brush a lot. But still, as you can see, it kind of springs back to forward, so you're not, yeah, we need to throw some water on this. So it splays easily, but then it does keep the tips nice and focused on your face instead of splaying out to the side. Gonna spend a minute working the lather in. Feels good, nice slick lather. All right. And this handle has this nice pattern. Then it's got some knurling in the actual diamonds themselves, and so it's nice grip. Just my second time using this one. See how Bolzano does. Well, it sure is not as nice as the Gillette Silver Blue I had yesterday, that's for sure. Definitely some tugging going on that first cheek over here. It's a lot nicer, a lot more friendly on this cheek for some reason. And that happens quite a bit. And so I wonder if maybe my angle was better, or maybe that side of my face, the hairs are just a little different, you know, angled differently or something like that. Feels good on my neck though. Still not as nice as the Silver Blue, but very serviceable and for the most part enjoyable. Just got a wild hair, and I don't usually use this blade. Just got a wild hair and decided to use it. Added a little bit of water to the bowl, remixed it. Thin the lather down just a little. Like maybe half a teaspoon of water. That's better. Still thick, but should do the job really well. Nice slickness. And man, my face felt really well cut after just that first pass. Yesterday was my first use of this razor, and I didn't do a third pass. I didn't really need to. It was crazy. I wanted to do a third pass, but I had the lather. I enjoy using the lather, but the first two were just so efficient. There was nothing more to cut. And this shave might be heading that same way. Yeah, this is a nice blade. Kinder to me in this razor than some others. And of course, the second and third pass, it's of any blade are almost always better, since the first one takes down most of your growth. And rinse. I'm going to go ahead and do another pass. I think I see a little bit of growth on my neck there, a little bit of length to the tips. So, good thing is I like this scent and I'm able to smell it during the shave, and that's terrific because I think previous, the only other one that I had was History 101 from this maker, from Summer Break, and it had enough strength and machismo to, really have me enjoy the shave. I really recommend that one. It's a very masculine scent with like smoke and tobacco and gunpowder and that kind of thing. And so now I get to keep another one. I like the barbershops. So excellent. I'm really happy about this. Not a lot of noise because, and I like this aspect about several razors that are this way, because the sound, there's not much to make the sound because the blade is being clamped down from the top and bottom very near the edge of the blade, so there's less to vibrate. Less to vibrate means a quieter shave, less noise. And that is a tremendous shave. Well, I'll tell you this. Now that I've used this Wolfman twice, Wolfman razors are expensive to come by. If you want to buy one on the secondary market, there are a lot of people who like to try to make money and charge way too much for them because they're hard to get, because the guy can only make so many at a time. And it's your money, and so if you've got the extra money to throw down on one and you just want to try it out, then that's you do your thing. But I tell you what, it gives a great shave, at least to me. I've put 2 blades in it so far. The Wolfman WR1s that I have also will be also give a great shave too. I think I like this one a little better, and I don't know that I need to go for the smaller of the gaps. There's one more gap that's lower than this one, and normally I enjoy a mild but efficient shave. I just like that comfort. I'm not trying to chase the baby butt smooth feeling. And so the milder gaps on these types of razors are usually ones that make me happy. And I don't even know if I need to do that because I'm just really comfortable. I am occasionally getting a little bit of irritation on a few spots, but I might just be really happy with this one. And I'm actually going to be able to sell my other WR1s because I was kind of keeping them. I'm going to keep one of them, my lowest gap one. But I was keeping the other 2 as to have a trade, since those are rare items, hard to come by. I was going to be able to hopefully trade them for a WR2. Now that I got the WR2 through another means, I can sell those off. But and keep the one. Don't need too many. But the shave from this one is terrific. It feels excellent. The And even with this blade that sometimes doesn't do really well for me, still did a really good job. It did a really good job in the closeness of the cut, but also in the feel of the shave, and the efficiency, and not to mention the Gillette Silver Blue I used yesterday, and it's remarkable how I just did 2 passes yesterday and ended up with nothing left to cut, and so I just stopped after 2. Excuse me. And so it's very efficient while still being comfortable. And so there are a lot of razors out there that don't do that. And so maybe it's worth paying some extra money. However, there are still some razors out there that give a great shave, and definitely an acceptable shave that cost a lot less. And so my point here is, if you're not able to afford a razor like this, then don't sweat it. There are awesome razors out there that give great shaves. There's a $10 to $15 Gillette Tech that gives a tremendous comfortable shave. It clamps the blade near the edge, just like this one. It's a vintage razor. It's got brass insides, and so it's a multi-lifetime razor. It's smooth and mild, and I get great cuts from it. Some people have to work hard to find the angle because it's so mild. The Fatips are a really good bunch as well. Comfortable, go with the Gentile for just a little bit more aggression, but not aggressive to me at least. You can go with the Grande or the Piccolo open comb. Terrific. And they have the brass insides. It's plated, with whatever you've chosen to plate it with, chrome or rhodium or whatever they have. But the insides are brass. So again, that's another multi-lifetime razor. You do have to align the blade on that one, though. You have to be careful about that. I enjoy my Fat Boy. Cost a lot less than the Wolfman. And man, I've seen some inflated prices on that on eBay lately, but generally, I think about $45 is $45 to $50 is a fair price for a user grade Fat Boy. And so there are razors out there. I'm really enjoying my carved Christopher Bradley, the brass one. It's going to be less than a Wolfman. You find the right plates, then you can get a very similar shave to this, and comfortable and slick and smooth and a nice close cut. Yeah, it's all available. And you can get that razor anytime, especially on the used market right now. Lots of those brass ones are available because people are wanting to upgrade to the stainless steel. Me, I think I'm going to keep and enjoy my brass. It's a terrific razor, and I like the character the brass brings. And so I think I'm going to keep that one and not upgrade. But so there are, and there's a Timeless is a good razor company. It is expensive as well. But Timeless has a scratch and dent section of their website, and you can put together a full, with the drop downs and stuff, you can put together a full razor for a much less, closer to a price you'd get one used. And it's just a quality piece, and it's going to shave really well. The 68 gap is a smooth base plate that I find I really enjoy the most. If you like something more aggressive than 95, I can still use the 95 for a daily shaver, but just barely, because it does have a little bit of an aggression to it. And I'm talking about either the scalloped base plate or the smooth, solid base plate. The open combs are much more aggressive. And those are tremendous high quality stainless steel razors. And I think they have titanium as well, but it's a lot more expensive. I don't think I'll ever own a titanium razor. I personally don't really feel the need. I mean, if one comes up on sale or something, there might be an advantage in like a Timeless titanium, because the stainless steel versions are quite heavy. And so it might have a better feel to it if it was lighter with such a metal like that. Anyway, one nice thing, as I've been talking to you, I've felt that I'm not really experiencing any soap tightness or anything like that, and I haven't even rinsed from that pass. So it's a very nice, enjoyable soap. Yeah, that's a tremendous, nice close cut. Just see the bare tips, if anything. Neck is done very well, and the cheeks are amazing. Almost baby butt smooth without even going against the grain at all. Very uncommon. And I ended up using almost 5 teaspoons of water for that. A little bit went in the brush on the first pass, a little bit more went in the bowl after the first pass to make the subsequent lathers nicer. Ended up with plenty of soap. I did 3 passes of shaving. No need for a touch-up at all, and I've got probably enough for 3 more passes if I wanted. So I'll definitely not have to scoop out so much next time. More than 1/4 of a teaspoon was too much. But next time, I know I'm going to be keeping this soap around, so next time I'll definitely brush. I enjoy brush loading more on the soap in the tub instead of scooping, lately at least. I really enjoy this knot. It's got more backbone than my golden nib premium Silvertips, and it's more similar to the Whip Dog Silvertips, but probably a little bit more backbone than the Whip Dog. And this 24 millimeter is plenty big enough for me. I have this goatee, and so I have a narrow tract of land to work with. A really big brush just means I can't move around as much. So a 24 is a nice size usually, but as you can see, that's kind of a sizable bloom. That's not small. I dropped it on the towel. This is what it looks like. I'm glad the tips haven't gelled or anything. Because they don't look super bleached, and I'm happy about that, because those, if your tips hook, I don't think I have an example right here, but if your badger tips hook a little bit and are jelly, then that means that it's been very more highly treated with bleach or some other type of agent to make them softer and gel. And that also means that your brush isn't going to last quite as long, like maybe 5 years instead of 10 or something like that. But if you have a brush rotation, then you may never notice a difference. But I personally like this kind of knot better than even the more expensive ones. Like this one a lot. This waist on this handle is a little narrow for me, but it didn't really have a problem this time, and so I think I'm getting used to it. So this, I think, is ending up to be one of my favorite badger brushes. So the Bolzano did well. A little rough on this one patch of skin right here, but everywhere else was just fine, and the shave closeness was tremendous. We are all cleaned up. I think I finally did pick up on some of that black pepper scent. The citrus never really jumped out too much, so it just must be a kind of a contributing player. And if you would have, the tonka bean also just kind of stays smooth. But I think if it wasn't for the oak moss and the tonka bean, I think that was that last one I forgot to mention early on in the video. The one element, the one scent note that I couldn't remember. The oak moss is there in the base notes, and I think it and the patchouli really help to turn this into something that I enjoy, because there's so much savory with the rosemary and the lavender that if it were just those notes by themselves, I may like it a little bit less. But I think the patchouli and the oak moss really help to ground it and turn it into something that I enjoyed shaving with. A nice, and I liked that it was his take on a barber shop, but it stayed very true to the nature and the characteristics that define that genre. And so you can enjoy it, and if you're a fan of barbershops, you'll likely enjoy it. But I do think it has his own spin or his own flavor to it, and I really like that too. So very good shave all the way around. Even the Bolzano, terrific close cut today. I thoroughly enjoyed that Maseto brush. Not really a one that I've used a lot. Recent acquisition. I think maybe I've just used it about 6 or 8 times, maybe 10, but I thoroughly enjoy it. I expect it to be one of my favorite badgers in the years to come. And it's a reasonable price too. I think $45, something like that, for the 24 millimeter. I like the Memphis style. It's the Memphis defines the shape of the handle, and so if you like a more traditional kind that's shorter, and then that comes available as well. But for my big hands, this more extended handle is very nice. And then I'm a bowl latherer, and so this gives a little soap space for the soap to be, and then my fingers don't get quite as messy during the shave. All right, excellent shave. I hope there was something here for you. You take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Bye-bye.